Right, I think we're live. Just check everything's working. Right, looking good. Okay, this is always a little bit weird doing a live show when there's nobody watching you. Because you got to wait for people to join. And because I'm a new channel, you're not going to get, I may not get anyone looking. They may just join, they may just watch the recording of it. So I'm going to carry on waffling on regardless. So this is one of the things I want to do with my narration, all the content that I've been putting out about grief over the last, few years, is I want to try and do regular live streams. And the reason being is I think it'll be quite a good idea if we can sort of all come together and, whether you just listen to my experience, the things that have happened to me and, hints and tips that I may have to help with the grieving process. Or maybe you've got a story of your own and you just want to come in and share it. You can do that on the live stream as well. But basically, it's just going to be a place where we can all come in and just hang out. And hopefully it'll take off from there. But like I say, it's a very small channel at the moment. So it's going to take a few weeks for this thing to sort of kick off. But I'm going to keep doing them anyway and talking to myself in the meantime. Just check a few things. I've actually got a sore throat today, so I'm not talking properly. Let me just check my volume. Can anyone hear me? That's the other thing when you do live streams, particularly when you're not used to it. I'm always sort of paranoid that nothing's working. I mean, I'm sat here and nobody can actually see or hear me, so I think I'm okay. I'm looking at my audio levels now. They look good. Hello, testing. Right, I'm going to keep this going for about half an hour, I think, as we sort of get more and more people joining over the coming weeks. I'll start doing longer ones. I don't have any agenda. There's nothing I want to talk about in particular. I'm just going to sort of talk about what I've been up to. A lot of you that follow me on, whether YouTube or other platforms, kind of know my backstory anyway. But I'll go over that again, and we'll go from there. I just got back in now from out in the kitchen baking flapjacks with my son, and whilst it's lovely to do that, it always makes me a little bit sad because that's the type of thing my wife used to do with my sons years ago. And for those who don't know, my wife, let's start at the beginning. So about 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, in fact, my wife was, she found a lump on her breasts, and she went into the hospital, went to the GP, went to the hospital to get it seen to, and they did a biopsy. Results came back, and they said it's okay, it's not cancer, which was great news, obviously. They just said, I can't remember what the term they called it now, but they basically just said it's a lump that they can remove in the future. So that was great. We just carried on, she was happy, I was happy. Didn't think anything else of it, just carried on exactly as we did before. A few months went past, and we were thinking about moving house back then. We were going to move up to Derbyshire. So Claire and I started house hunting. And in fact, the very last photo I've got of her was me and her house hunting up in Derbyshire. A friend of mine went past in the car, and rather than sort of waving or beeping his horn, he just took a photo of the two of us walking, and then he sent it to me on WhatsApp a little bit later. He said, I'm stalking you. And that's there's a photo of me pointing up to a house, and my wife Claire, she's just stood by the side of me. And it was quite sad because I think maybe 7, maybe 10 days after that photo was taken, she died. So after we went to Derbyshire, we came back home, and one night she was complaining about aches and pains in her shoulder all the time, on her arm and stuff, and we thought the reason she was getting these aches and pains, we thought, was because she had the lump in her breast, which was quite painful, and I think because the biopsy made it a bit sore as well. She was adjusting her sleeping pattern, so rather than like sleeping how she usually does, she sort of adjusted her position. So we just assumed that the aches and pains that she was getting in her arms and her shoulders was just as a result of her being uncomfortable in bed, and changing her sleeping pattern. But one night, she once again, she was going on about these aches and pains and things, and she got up and went to the toilet. It was about 2 a.m. We'd had a late night. We'd been watching telly downstairs and things. And she came back upstairs after going to the toilet, and she's out of breath. I mean, she's literally out of breath, and I'm like, this isn't right. This isn't normal. And that night she was also in a lot of pain as well in her breast. So she said, yeah, something's not right, and she went and phoned the hospital, and the hospital just said, take a couple of paracetamol and go back to bed. So she came back to bed, told me what they said, and that was it. It's going to go to sleep. And then maybe 10, 20 minutes later, the phone rang. So she went back downstairs, and it was the hospital. Now in the meantime, the hospital had, obviously, they'd gone into her medical record and seen her history of the lump and everything and the biopsy. So they said to her, you've got to get into A&E right now, which was a little bit scary. So she came back and she said, shall I pack a bag, an overnight bag? And I said, yes, I think you should. I think you should pack a bag. You never know what's going to happen. But like I said, we had no idea she was sick. No idea at all. Went into hospital. I came home because I had kids to look after. And I think like the following day, she had some tests and things. And I get a phone call from the hospital. And they said, you need to come in. And they wouldn't tell me what the problem was on the phone. And I went in, and my wife's crying her eyes out on the bed. And I'm like, what's going on? And the doctor came along, and he said, look, we've not given her another biopsy yet. We've not done the tests. But he said that he's 99% sure that she's got cancer. So Claire was crying her eyes out. It was just, it didn't really sink in with me. What sunk in was watching her sitting on the bed crying her eyes out. What the doctor said didn't really sink in. It's a weird sort of thing. And this went on, and a few days passed. They started talking about, giving her other tests. And then if it was going to be cancer, talking about the treatment, chemotherapy and things like that. And few days went, and I think we got to about 7 days or 10 days. I can't remember exactly how long now. And once again, I was home, and the doctor phoned up again. He said, you need to come into the hospital right now. And I went in, and she passed away. I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to her. None of us did. Why would we? We didn't even think she was sick. In fact, the previous night, we'd been doing a Zoom call with her, and she's laughing and joking. It's me and my kids chatting to her on Zoom. And that is it. That was 3 years ago. Our boys were 11 and 15 at the time. And it pretty much turned my whole life upside down. And it's been like that ever since. However, fast forward 3 years, when I look back, I think if anyone's going through something similar, I can possibly, help, maybe just talking about my experience and, what I did to help me. And I've been writing quite a few videos. I've been creating a few videos recently about how to deal with grief. And it is a new YouTube channel, and I'm new to content creating as well. So as the weeks and months go by, the content I produce will get better. And yeah, hopefully I can, sort of help people. It's a weird thing. I couldn't help my wife. I couldn't stop her dying. I was completely out of control. So if I can help other people going through a similar sort of thing, whether you're going through it yourself, or your partner is, or your children are, or your parents are, maybe you can help. What I would say, though, is something I have learned with grief is, obviously, I've spoken to a lot of people who have gone through similar things over the last few years, mainly because people messaging me on social media. And everyone I speak to is different. Everyone's got different experiences, and everyone deals with it in different ways as well. It's a weird thing. And also, when my wife first died, people would tell me how I was going to feel. I know the funeral home director came over and he told me, how I'm going to feel. And, after a week, I'll be feeling like this. And then 3 months feeling like that. And then 6 months, I'll be like this. And none of it came true. None of it at all. It was completely, my experience was completely different to the way anyone told me. And also everyone I've spoken to since has had slightly different experiences as well. And people sort of handle it in this different ways as well. I tend to keep my emotions inside to myself. Whereas other people, they're more emotional, which is, absolutely fine. And I think there's no right or wrong way to deal with grief. I think you've just got to do whatever feels right to help with your situation. So yeah, this is it now. I'm going to be doing these live streams, and hopefully they will get more popular. Like I say, I'm a very small channel at the moment. I've done most of my content so far on TikTok and Instagram. And, some of the videos particularly on TikTok, one of my videos had close on 1 million views. And that's really good, really great. I've had tens of thousands of comments on there. But the problem I find with TikTok is that you create a video and you talk about something, and that video may be really good, and it may be really good information that somebody in 6 months may want to watch. But you can't find anything on my TikTok channel. If you go to my bio on TikTok, well, and Instagram, all the videos look exactly the same, because they're all like a mugshot of me just looking at the camera. And you kind of lose. And if somebody says, oh, can you make a video on this or that? And then I'll say, well, actually, I did that a few months ago, but I can't show it to them because I can't remember where it is. I don't know which one I said what in. So the good thing about doing YouTube is I can create playlists, and I can have strong title names and descriptions for each video. So, I've just done for example, I've just done a series now. I've done about 4 or 5 videos on tips for dealing with grief. And I put them within a dealing with grief playlist. So you can go straight there and you can watch the whole series. And, I plan to do a lot of videos on, so something else I have to say as well is, over the last 3 years, I've been looking a lot into sort of holistic health and just becoming a healthier person, healthier lifestyle. I couldn't cook when my wife died. So for the first few months, I spent months watching YouTube videos on how to cook. My mother was really concerned. She phoned me up, not long after my wife died, and she's like, Peter, how are you going to bring those 2 boys up on your own? You can't cook. And I was like, well, I can learn. And that's what I've done. But in the meantime, whilst I've learned to cook, I've been trying to cook as healthily as I possibly can. And that entails a lot of research, because there's a lot of shit information out there about diets and nutrition. And a lot of it is put out there. It's all sponsored by the food giants and big pharmacy even. Because these people, they don't want you to be They want you sick. They don't want you to eat a healthy lifestyle, because if you're sick, then you've got to go and have a tablet and a pill, and they make money from it. They can't make money from healthy people. And I know that sounds a little bit conspiratorial, but it's true. So when you go out now and you'll sort of do a bit of research on something, some nutrition, some diet, there'll be loads of information saying that it's really bad for you. But likewise, there'll be loads of information saying, oh, actually, it's really good for you as well, because that research has been paid for by the food giants or sponsored by big pharmacy. So it's really difficult to know what's healthy and what's not, particularly when even the government advice about diet is incorrect, and I disagree with it. So yeah, going back to my channel, I do plan on making some content on the healthy sort of side of things as well: health, nutrition, diet, exercise, mental health as well. So I'll be doing that as well. On top of all that as well, I find that a lot of people sort of come to me now and they ask my opinion on things, particularly people that don't know me. They'll message me on social media, and they may have somebody in their family who's very, very sick, maybe due to pass away, or they may have a health issue themselves, and they'll ask me my advice on it, and I can give advice based on my own experience. But what I thought would be better is if I was sort of qualified in counselling as well, counselling therapy. So I've started a counselling course, evening classes, which I do every week now, and I think that can help me advise other people, and it can help me produce better content. So I think along with my experience of what happened to my wife a few years ago, I can use the training that I'm getting from my counselling course to help with my advice, or help with my information rather, and help with my content. So I'll be putting more content out along those lines as well. What else am I going to be doing? So I'm very much into exercise myself. I do a lot of exercise, so I'm pretty sure that I'm going to be doing the odd video on so exercise and things, and we'll go from there. But like I say, I'm a very small channel at the moment. I think the last time I saw, I've only got 57. Let's check it out. 57 subscribers. But that will grow, because this channel has been going for... I only started putting any effort into this at the beginning of September. So we're still in September. So it's less than 1 month. And I now have 57 subscribers. And I'm putting videos up sort of twice a week. And it'll get bigger. And then hopefully these Sundays then people will start showing up, and we can sort of have a bit of a chat about things and just sort of hanging out together. Even having a beer. I will be having a beer in a moment. What else did I do? I did a video the other day on the benefits of writing in a journal every day after you lose somebody. With my journal. And I have mentioned this a few times in a few videos. This is my journal. And I don't write in it so much now. I used to write in it every day after my wife first went. And I think it's just a good idea to get down, because your mind doesn't work properly when you grieve. It's all confused, because all the bits in your brain are all over the place, because it's trying to figure out what happened, and it can't. It cannot figure out that person in your life is now gone. So you're very confused about things. This is why you end up doing things like putting your mobile phone away in the fridge, for example, because you're just not thinking straight. You're just all over the place. And I think one of the things I thought would help me is just getting down all my feelings or my emotions in a book. So every day I used to write in this. I've even gone in this recently, and I've had a look at some of the things I wrote in the early days, and it's like, did I write that? That's because there's stuff I've written in there that I wouldn't necessarily write now, because I was in a different place back then, and whilst I'm still grieving a lot. I've got some normality back with my life now. There was a lot of things going on back then, as you can imagine. You know, I went from being in a family, husband, wife, some kids. I go to work every day. My wife stays home, looks after the kids. That changed overnight to me having to look after the kids, me doing the school runs. I have to create the sandwich boxes. I have to help them with their homework. I have to hold down a full-time job during the day. Plus, I have to do, you know, even more housework. And it's really that's difficult when everything's normal, let alone when your brain is almost malfunctioning because somebody's died. So it was a really, really, you know, confusing, almost like a blur. When I look back, I still can't believe that it was 3 years ago she went. I can't believe it. It's when I look back, particularly the first 2 years, that was just a complete blur. It's like, where did those years go? I just don't know, because all I was occupied with doing was making sure my boys are okay, making sure they get to school on time, making sure they've done their homework, making sure they're happy and they're smiling and they're not, you know, getting affected too much. And I was so just completely, I didn't care about me. I didn't care about my happiness, anything. In some ways, I still don't. But it's, you know, all you can do when it happens is sort of take one day at a time, and sort of get through it and make the best you can. So yeah, going back to journal, writing in a journal, I highly recommend this. If you've just recently lost somebody, or even if it was a long time ago, start doing it now. You'd be surprised what you write in there. And the thing I was thinking was, you know, my boys now only have one parent, and if anything happened to me, they've kind of got this journal that they can go and they can look in, you know, and see what I was going through at the time. They can also watch all my YouTube videos as well. And the other thing is as well, I gave one to my wife as well when she was in hospital. I had a funny feeling that she wasn't coming home. I don't know why. I just had this feeling. So I bought her exactly the same journal. I gave one to her, and I said, "Well, why don't you just, you know, write your thoughts in it every day? And plus, you know, you're going to get bored in hospital anyway." I mean, she wasn't actually there that long, a matter of days. But so she started writing her journal, and I haven't got it now. It's upstairs, and I've got that journal from her, and it was, you know, she literally wrote on it like less than 12 hours before she passed away. And she didn't write an awful lot in it, but at least it's a few sort of memories I've got, you know. And obviously, that now, her journal that she wrote in, I don't really look in. I'll keep it forever, but I don't really look in it. Oh, and that brings me on to about these journals as well. So I've done a video about this before. The quality of these journals are fantastic, because I wanted something that was going to last forever and ever and ever. So the ones I've got are these Scribbles journals, and they've got like really thick paper within them. So when you're writing the paper, it doesn't bleed through. I use like gel pens when I write, and they can leak through sort of thinner paper sometimes. So that's why I bought this particular one here. Let me see if I can get the link, just in case anyone's interested in getting one. Right, where are we? I would highly recommend it, and yeah. Oh, I'm all over the place here. My computer's just going so slow. Right. This is the link for the journal. Oh, no, it's not. That's gone all weird. Stand by, having technical trouble. You wouldn't think I work with computers, would you? Oh, and that brings me on to another thing, which I'll mention in a minute. Let me just get this down now. Okay, if you fancy one of those journals, click on that link there. It is an affiliated link, so if you buy it, it's exactly the same price. The difference with an affiliated link is if you buy it through Amazon, through that link there, then it gives me a couple of pence to go towards a cup of coffee for me, and it helps support the channel. But I highly recommend them. I can't remember how much they are now. I think they're about 12 quid or something, but they're I honestly, I can't talk highly enough about these journals. They've got like, I feel like I'm repeating myself now, but they've got like a vegan leather cover. There's leather look, vegan leather. I don't know what vegan leather is, but it's pretty cool looking anyway. So yeah, right. So where else are going? Yeah, so I work in IT. So one of the things I've come to realize since my wife's gone is I don't want to work in my current job anymore. And when I say my job, I mean IT as a computer programmer. I don't want to do it. I want to do something completely different. And what I would like to do is what I'm doing now, by doing this, making this content to help people that are going through the grieving process. I would love to do this full time. I would love to just produce really good quality YouTube videos, put some courses on, maybe some webinars. And also I've got a website as well. And my website, which I'll put the link down here, my website will, hang on, where is it? I got a website called mindnourishtech.com, and what it does is you can create an account. I mean, apart from, I actually write blogs on there, so any of the sort of as well as making YouTube videos, I write blogs. You can go there, you can read my blogs, you can sign in, and then you can comment on my blogs as well. And also it's got a bit of a clever thing on there where you can create a profile and you can answer some health and lifestyle questions. I think there's about 30 questions on there. And it just asks you about things like your diet, alcohol consumption, smoker, non-smoker, how active you are, various other things. And once it's got that information, and it doesn't need all 30 answers, but the more answers you give it, the more accurate it is. And then that goes off to AI, and it uses your profile and the answers to your questions, and it'll come back with some advice on how to improve your lifestyle. Now, yes, okay, you could just use AI on your own and do this, but the difference is this: once you've got an account on the website, and when I say account, it's all completely free. Once you've got a profile on the website, it then knows you. And it knows, about your lifestyle, so it adjusts the advice accordingly, and it gives you a rating between 0 and 500, like almost like a credit score, but it's for your lifestyle. So the higher the score, the fitter it thinks that you are. So if you're only getting a score of like 20 or 30, you probably need to do something serious with your life. And in your profile, once you get a report back, the credit report coming back, you can then go and do another one a week later. Maybe. So I'll give you an example. So you go to the website and you fill in all the information, and the website, the AI comes back and it says, right, why don't you take up running, for example, maybe, or take up walking? So let's go with that. It advises you to go for a mile walk every day. Great. So come back the following week, fill in the questionnaire again, except this time now you can say, well, yes, I've been doing my mile walk every day as well for the last week. And it will look at your historical data and it'll go and get another report. And you can see whether your credit score has gone up. Credit score, I keep calling it credit score. Your lifestyle score, you can see whether it goes up. And it produces a little graph as well where it'll sort of, track previous reports. And you can do that every week, and then hopefully, then over the weeks and the months, you can see that your lifestyle is increasing. So yeah, it's pretty cool. But you don't have to use that side of it. You can just go there and read the blogs. Once again, it's a new website. I get very few people going there at the moment, so I'd like to do that. Let me just get rid of this banner, and I'll put the website. Let's get this banner going around the bottom. Where are you? Nope, we don't want that one. We just had that one. There you go. That's my website, mindnourishtech.com. I wanted the word mind nourish. That was going to be my sort of channel name. Unfortunately, it was gone. So I called it Mind Nourish Tech, and tech was supposed to be in the website part of it. And then Mind Nourish is all about, you know, living a healthier lifestyle to help your mind, help your brain, you know, help you through your grief story. So yes, it's kind of like you hear me referring to it as Mind Nourish Tech and Mind Nourish, but the whole brand name is supposed to be Mind Nourish. And the other thing is, if you want to find me on any other social media, you can. So I'm on Instagram, Facebook, X, and all you have to do is go to any of those platforms and type in & Mind Nourish Tech, and you'll find me. I'm pretty active on Instagram and TikTok. I'm going to be more active on YouTube soon as the channel builds up. I don't have many subscribers yet, but when it does, I'll start being a little bit more active. Okay, so just remove that. And the other thing is, if you do want to help me and support my channel, you can buy me a coffee. And what this allows you to do is you can just go to that website there, buymeacoffee.com/mindnourish, and you can donate a couple of quid or whatever, and that will go towards buying me a coffee, which really means helping the channel. Because like I said, I would love to be able to pack in my day job and do this full time. Unfortunately, I've got to pay my bills, so that's easier said than done. But I think it's possible. I think the content I'm going to be creating is going to be worthwhile. I think it's going to bring a lot of value to people. Obviously, the content will get better as my sort of video skills, if you like, talking in front of a camera, get better. At the moment, I'm very good at walking in a field, holding my camera out and talking randomly about subjects that just come into my head. Pretty much all my content where you see me walking around in the field, I don't edit. I just film it and I upload it. My YouTube content, whilst I do the same, I also like to talk about in particular subject. Like, for example, I'll think, okay, well, I'm going to, like a journal. So I want to create a video about my journal. The moment I do that, the moment I plan anything, any of my videos don't come across as authentic as when I'm just randomly waffling on when I'm talking in the field. So that's something I need to work on. I've noticed myself, you know, I sort of pause and I and ah a little bit because I'm thinking, right, I need to say this now. I need to say this. I need to say that, and I need to say that. And I it's difficult for me to do purely because I'm not used to doing it. I'm far better at just talking randomly like this, and so yeah, it'll come. The quality will get better, particularly if I can give up my day job and do this full time. So who knows? In the future, I may be offering, you know, if anyone, as I'm getting more trained up in counselling now, I may be able to offer, you know, one-to-ones. If people want to have a chat with me in private chat, you know, maybe I'll be able to do that in the future as well. But yeah, this Sunday night, I'm going to do this every Sunday now. And I know for a few Sundays, I'm going to be sat here on my own, just talking, and that's fine because anyone that can come to the channel can go and actually view the live stream, because it gets recorded and you can look at past live streams. I prefer it if they watched it live because I'd like to see the you know, the sort of comments and things like that, but that's going to take a while. Right, where are we? So we're going 35 minutes. I'm going to go a little bit longer, but I'm going to probably aim to do this for about half an hour to 45 minutes, and then as more and more people start coming to these sort of live streams, then I'll maybe increase that time and we can go from there. I prefer it when, you know, somebody's chatting. I've done these live streams on TikTok, and particularly when I first uploaded my viral video, I did a live stream. I got so many people coming on and talking to me, and it was great. You know, some of it was them just asking me questions and I was answering that. Also, there's people telling me their story, you know, something that's happened to them, and we can sort of talk about that as well. So once I do get some people coming on these live streams, it'll be a lot better. What else do I need to talk about? Well, I'm going to go and have a beer in a minute. Okay, right. I've gone over the website. I've gone over what this channel is for. I'll be back again next Sunday, 8 o'clock. I'll put a notification up halfway through the week so you can stick it in your diary. And yeah, I'll carry on uploading content and we can go from there. So I'm currently at 57 subscribers. It's not bad considering my channel is less than a month old, really. I mean, I did create the channel before that, but I didn't put anything up with any effort. It's only in September that I've actually started, you know, really trying to get content that can, you know, help people. So we'll see now. I'm on 57. We'll see what I'm on next Sunday. See, and I want to get up to the 100 mark first. That'll be happy time for me. Right, I'm going to head off now. I'm going to go and have a beer, and I'll, like I say, come to my channel, subscribe, please subscribe. It's really, when you're a new channel, it's quite soul destroying when you start making videos and nobody's watching them. You know, you spend time creating and editing a video and you get like 3 people viewing it. So it really helps when you can subscribe to my channel and like the videos as well. That helps a lot as well, because the more you like, and commenting is brilliant. You know, if you can like my videos and comment on my videos, it adds to the YouTube algorithm. And because there's interaction between myself and viewers watching the content, YouTube likes that. So then it'll send more traffic my way. And then I get more subscribers, and I'm very happy. So I do even more videos. So yeah, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want, check out the website. Website's on the bottom there, mindnourished.com. Find me on the social media, and I will see you all next Sunday. So have a great week, everybody. See you later. How do you turn this off?